So before we jump into any question answers, I'll first give a little more detailed explanation of the last part of chapter 21. Yeah. No one knows anything. Yeah. Atmananda has touched on this before. Yeah, right in the first semester, I think we've done it. But sometimes memory just evades us, no? So it's like a refresher of something we did way earlier. So when I say I know it, yes, what is the meaning of I know it? What is that meaning really? Atmananda has explained this. Suppose I'm seeing something. And he has said, seeing is not perceiving an external object, because there is no shape and color in the world really. Perception is not outside in, it is inside out. Yes, that is why when I am in the deep sleep state, there is an absence, a shunyata, a nothingness. Then the sense of I comes up. That I has an idea of seeing. It sees without physical eyes in the dream state. Seeing means what? The sense of sight or perception is only an idea of vision. It is only a thought. Yeah? It is only an objectification of thought that I call a family member that I see. Objectification of thought that I see the sofa. Objectification of thought that I see the cupboard. Objectification of thought that I see the window. The objects in the world are nothing but thought. It's only an idea in the mind. That is why I see it first in the dream state without any of these 5 physical senses. Perception part is clear. Yeah, like I explained for sight, the same thing will apply to hearing. Hearing is not really perceiving sound objects because there are no objects out there in the world. There is no real sound out there. Yeah? Hearing is perceiving hearing. Yes, so the sense of hearing or this perception of hearing is perceiving an idea of sound. It's only an idea, it is only a thought. Yeah? It's only when I say this is the sound of Ekta's voice, it's only an objectification of thought. Yeah, I'll explain objectification of thought. I have a thought, an idea, and I assume that I says this is real, this is an object. And it objectifies that thought. That is how in my dream, I really see a tiger that is chasing me. I have objectified my fear as that tiger. Yeah, and I must have objectified my attraction to visiting a wonderful forest. Maybe I saw it on National Geographic and I had that idea. My objectification of a desire is me reaching that forest. My objectification of my fear is that tiger chasing me in that forest. All of it is a dream. There is no real tiger, there is no real forest. So objectification first happens in my dream state. I carry this objectification to the waking state. Now I just gave examples of seeing, hearing, applied to all 5 senses. Touching is also not perceiving tactile objects because there's no real tactile objects. I cannot prove the existence of this book. I cannot. I could be holding this book very well in my dream state. Where do I have the proof? So, touching is also not proof enough that there is an object existing out there. And Atmananda has also taught us in another chapter that if objects existed in the gross world, that would be a different level of existence. Thought would be another level of existence, and awareness would be a third level of existence. Can you prove the existence of three different levels? Number one, no. I have no experience of three different levels. Number two, even if we assume that there are these three different levels, you would have to jump from one level to another level. Is there really something like that happening? Can something as subtle as thought go to a level which is as gross as an object? No. Can the awareness, that is the one that knows, go down to the level of thought and then say, I understood thought or I know the thought? Can it jump down to the level of the gross physical plane and I say, I know this thing? It's not possible only. There are no three planes. This is what he has explained. And now experientially we see, yes, if there were three separate planes, in my dream state, from where would a tiger come? From where would I experience a forest? How would there be fear? All this is not three different planes. This is all happening at the single plane. Yeah, so to start seeing this clearly, I have to reject all these past assumptions, past ideas. Otherwise, I cannot see this. Yeah, my own assumption, my own past idea blurs my vision. Then I cannot see the truth. That's all that keeps happening intermittently. Your truth gets blurred because you're so overwhelmed by a situation, something, a person, a relationship. When you're so overwhelmed, all the Advaita knowledge takes a back seat. Yeah, you assume to be a body mind. And there this becomes a gross plane. And then there is another second thought plane and a third awareness plane. Oh, and I have to become awareness. Or I have to really take a step beyond. No, no. It's not that I'm going to another plane. No. It's only going back to old beliefs and ideas. Are you seeing the difference? Yeah. So none of these seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, smelling has ever proven to me that an object exists outside. And if an object does not exist outside, yeah, whether I'm tasting it or whether I'm smelling it, touching it, hearing it, these are only objectification of the idea. Assumption that it is an object existing in an external physical world. This is the meaning of objectification of idea. An assumption that the object exists in an external physical world is objectification of an idea. Has this become very clear? There are no three planes. I cannot prove it. It has only been my assumption. It is the assumption from science. The assumption has come from my own basic education in science. Yeah, so all objects are nothing but knowledge. There is no two. There is no other. Any object that I say I know, it's simply an idea that has arisen. That idea exists and that idea dissolves back. There is just nothingness. The awareness is like nothingness. It's like space. It's not made of any material that I can point out to. Knowledge is the same. It's not made of any material that I can point out to. that objectification of an idea, that assumed object is nothing but knowledge. That is why all of it disappears at the end of my waking state, and in my dream state there is completely new idea and new objectification. Here it was more sequential, more logical, and here it is a little illogical. No sequence, weird images. But it is still knowledge. Yeah? Waking and dreaming have ideas. Yeah? When I go to the deep sleep, all these ideas have dissolved back into knowledge. Yeah. So they remain as knowledge. They are like latent knowledge, like a volcano that is absolutely dormant. It does not mean that the volcano will never ever come up, right? In the future, anytime this volcano can explode. On the surface, it is quiet, dormant. It is as if there's just a hill, but there is risk there. Anytime that volcano can erupt. Deep sleep state is like that, where knowledge is latent, is dormant. All ideas are dormant, they are sleeping. So the waking state idea and the dream state idea, both are dormant, they are sleeping. That's it. It's not that they are not there. They are. And as soon as the deep sleep state is over, you come to the waking state, and there the ideas are back. Very clear? Yeah, so there is no two at all. Two is required to say, I know it. There has to be an it and there has to be an I. Yes, this was all an assumption that we have done since our schooling, our education, science, growing up, our culture, religious conditioning, whatever. All our conditioning through life has contributed to the idea of Dvaitam. Dvaitam is also an idea. It's not true. So to say, I know it itself is a wrong thing. Clear? Yeah. Now, another doubt that people have is that this idea of this waking state, this objectification, how is it the same material? The material cause is the same as the deep sleep state. How? Yeah. You take a pot made of earth. Can earthen pot, dissolve in water? It will never completely dissolve. It will make the water muddy, dirty. We've done this, we've touched upon this. Can that earthen pot be dissolved in air, in wind? No, it'll dirty the air, the wind. It's not going to be pure air. It's not going to be clean. It's going to become impure. That air will just displace the earth. Let's say you broke it down. The air will just displace that earth. But still, air will be impure. So, earth cannot dissolve in water. Earth cannot dissolve in air. Can earth dissolve in fire? No, fire will make it very dark, hard, will burn it, make it ash, but it will never completely eliminate it. Can earth dissolve in space? No. Is there any other element remaining? No, earth can only dissolve in earth. This earth is there. I break down the pot to pieces and I throw it into earth. Earth takes back earth. it disappears into earth. So what is the meaning of this example? That matter which is of the same qualities, same properties, only that can be dissolved into that. Only earth can dissolve into earth. Similarly, if my waking state dissolves into the darkness of deep sleep, which is nothing but awareness, it means my waking state is made up of the same material as my deep sleep, as nothingness, as shunyata. All knowledge is shunyata. All ideas are shunyata. This waking world is shunyata. It is as if walking, talking, explaining Advaita, I am in deep sleep. There is no tool. There is only knowledge. There is no question of I know it. There is no I, there is no it. There is no two. An earthen pot and the earth, they are not two different things. They are the same. The earthen pot is simply a form of earth. Similarly, ideas, which is nothing but waking state and dream state, are form of the formless consciousness. Like wave is the form of the ocean. Finally, both is H2O. Yes? So there is nothing like I know it. This idea needs to be rejected, needs to be now shed away. Okay, this was my wrong idea. So then if there is nothing like I and there is nothing like it, where is the question of being able to know something? There is simply knowledge. Knowing something is not a function. You have this idea in the mind. It is a function. Again, this is also just my belief, my Dvaitam belief. I have to let it go, drop, reject this idea. Again and again, see the truth. Moment to moment, my spouse arises and dissolves, disappears. Moment to moment, my room arises, disappears. Moment to moment, my feelings arise about this whole situation, the spouse, the room, everything, and disappears. Moment to moment, my fear about my retirement, my old age, my bank balance, my kids, their school, their college, their education, their marriage, whatever, all these fears arise and they disappear. Moment to moment, everything becomes knowledge. An idea arises, the idea becomes knowledge. It becomes nothingness. Another idea arises, it becomes knowledge. It is like wave arises, immediately becomes the ocean. Again a wave arises, immediately becomes the ocean. There is no continuity there. Only memory of that one idea after another idea after another idea. I create a story. I believe that there is continuity there. But in reality, when I look at reality very objectively, I see no, there is no continuity. When there is no continuity, when there is no two, where is the question of I know it? So now it's clear, no one knows anything because no one is there. And this is not a theory or concept. It's not something to memorize. It's not poetry. It is the truth. It is the truth. It is Satyam. Yeah? But you have to experientially see what I am telling you. And it's okay to forget. That's okay. You will forget because your past ideas have been so overpowering for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, however long you've been here. They've been overpowering. So those can come back. That's okay. Again, you remind yourself, oh, but the truth is this. This is the truth. That is a belief. This is the truth. I see this moment to moment. I see this moment to moment. I am just fooling myself again. Yeah, Viveka. Again and again applying Viveka. Yeah, have you been doing that homework? Viveka again and again. Yeah. Filtering out all the lies from the truth. That is Viveka. Then there'll be no confusion. There'll be no confusion. Knowledge also cannot know itself. What is nothingness going to know? Nothingness is not sentient. Now, for example, sun. The sun gives life. Because of the sun, there are plants that are living, there are animals that are living, there are humans that are living. If there is no light of the sun and no warmth of the sun, these plants, animals, and humans cannot live. Okay, this is the waking world story that I'm telling you. Why am I telling you this story? I'm just drawing an analogy, like I drew an analogy between the earthen pot and earth. So the sun is required for plants, animals, and humans to have a life. These animals and the humans can taste, touch. So they get that because of life. That does not mean that the source of life can taste, touch, smell. Is this part clear? The example is clear? Similarly, that consciousness, nothingness, shunyata, is insentient. Insentient means that which cannot understand or know. Do you get it? Knowledge itself is insentient. So knowledge cannot know knowledge. This is clear? Yeah. Just like the sun cannot taste, touch, smell, despite giving life to that organism that can taste, touch, smell, see and hear. Yeah. Similarly, the shunyata or the nothingness that actually gives all this power of sentience, that itself is not sentient. Knowledge is not sentient. It only gives an idea of sentience. There is no sentience actually. Sentience is only an idea. I understand, I know, I see, I taste, I touch, I perceive. All are ideas. I am living. I'm a living organism and that table is a non-living organism. Ideas. Do you see this? Yeah, very, very clear. Even the sun giving light and life, all is an idea. It's a story of the waking world. But truth, what is truth? Oh, everything is knowledge, and knowledge is insentient. That which is insentient cannot know itself. So knowledge cannot know knowledge. Very clear? Yeah. That is why no one knows anything. See, Advaita Vedanta knowledge is not too vast. It's not like an ocean. It's like you can put it in one book. What you've learned from Atmananda is the crux of it. When you finish the last two chapters, it's like that's the whole. It's in entirety. There is nothing more to know. Do you get it? So if you still slip, it is only because of that past belief, nothing else. It's not that you lack the intellectual knowledge or you lack the experiential glimpse. No, I have the intellectual knowledge and I have the experiential glimpse. Oh, my problem is I was not able to apply Viveka and separate out that false past belief from the current truth, the reality of this situation. Yeah, I just slipped. That's all that has happened. Nothing else will happen beyond this. That assurance I can give you. The only slip is this. Oh, my viveka is little weak. I need more sharpening, more sharpening, more sharpening. So now you have to devise ways and methodologies to sharpen your own viveka. Yeah, see, if we were in an ashram, if it was an ashram setting, I could have put you in an isolated place that you are only going to interact with Advaitins, you're only going to talk about Advaita knowledge, you're going to be limited to this. So what that does is helps me develop my viveka. It becomes so sharp that I'm not influenced by external non-Advaita knowledge or the Dvaitam beliefs. I'm not surrounded by any ignorant people. So it becomes very easy for a monk or a nun in an ashram. For the householder, the challenge is a little stronger. I have to deal with all this drama, maybe a mixture of ignorance and Dvaitam and Advaitam. I have to deal with all of this, and at the same time I have to, like a horse, put blinders on and just focus on my Advaita spiritual progress. Do you get it? And I have to keep doing viveka. No, this is Dvaita. Oh, this is past belief. Oh, this came from science. This again and again and again, and just be focused. Sharpening is harder for a householder, but that's the life you have chosen in this story, current story. Yeah. So we just go along with it, whatever it is, it's okay. It will take a little longer than a monk or nun in an ashram. That's fine. I need to have that resolution, that courage, that acceptance of this truth that I am a householder. Okay. Householder is also your own idea. Your own idea. That will also drop very soon. You will see you're all alone. Yeah? But don't stop short of that. Don't stop short of that. Yeah? Completing theory does not mean, yes, I got it all. Huh? Never get into that egoistic thing. Oh, I know it. I got it all. Yeah, I am done. You're never done. You're never done. Yeah? Learning is never over. So don't let ego take over ever. Yeah? Because now, towards the end, major attacks happen. I'm sure you're noticing them. Yeah. So all these big attacks, either big attachments, my previous attachments are my attacks, or the ego comes up, or some new attraction to something absolutely new. That something to pull me away from my focus. Wear your blinders. I am not going to lose my focus. Okay? Yeah.